Four uneasy allies have become the West's biggest nightmare. Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Iran's Masoud Pezeshkian, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Recently, they stood shoulder to shoulder at a military parade, the world's most terrifying group photo. While Western leaders argue over trade deals and climate summits, these four staged the geopolitical equivalent of a war council. Now, the world is left asking, what comes next? On today's episode of The Next Mind, we're breaking down CRINC and why you should be terrified. More than 24 world leaders showed up to China's September 2025 military parade in Beijing. The whole event was pure military theater, purposely designed to make Western defense planners wake up in cold sweats. For 90 minutes, China rolled out its latest catalog of underwater drones, hypersonic missiles, and the new DF-61 ICBM, capable of carrying nuclear warheads anywhere on the planet. Fighter jets painted colored trails across the skies, while helicopters flew in formation, spelling out 80, nodding to the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. China wanted the world to know it meant business. The weapons and the waving were just the opening act. What really mattered was the reviewing platform. Xi Jinping center stage, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un flanking him. While Western alliances fracture, these four have only strengthened theirs. Some call it CRINC, short for China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Others dub it the axis of upheaval. This new authoritarian bloc could end the Western rules-based order as we know it, and that's more than a little foreboding. Contrary to popular belief, CRINC isn't NATO for dictators. There's no headquarters, no matching uniforms, no formal defense pact. What binds them is necessity, convenience, and above all, shared disdain for the West, especially the United States. Their founding philosophy can be summed up in two words: pure spite. But it goes deeper. They see democracy itself as an existential threat, and when sanctions cut them off, they turned inward, building their own systems, their own trade, and their own version of the global order. Cut off from Western banks, they built new payment systems. Banned from Western markets, they became each other's best customers. China needs energy, Russia supplies it. Russia needs technology, China delivers. Iran gains legitimacy and protection. North Korea contributes manpower and munitions. Each benefits, all survive. CRINC's informal setup allows for plausible deniability. When North Korean shells appear in Ukraine or Chinese components show up in Russian weapons, everyone can claim it's just business. China is the powerhouse keeping CRINC alive. Through projects like the Belt and Road Initiative, it has built a web of global influence, ports, railways, and 5G networks that turn economic dependency into political leverage. Beijing also provides the global stage where dictators feel legitimate, hosting BRICS, SCO, and Belt and Road forums. Here, authoritarian leaders get to act like statesmen without facing Western scrutiny. Russia brings the military muscle and the willingness to defy international law. Putin's invasion of Ukraine was more than an imperial gamble. It was his audition as CRINC's primary enforcer. His tactics, cyber attacks, assassinations, disinformation, and proxy wars have become the model for the other three members. Iran runs CRINC's proxy playbook. Through Hezbollah, the Houthis, and militias across the Middle East, Tehran projects power while maintaining plausible deniability. It exports drones like the Shahed, launders billions through covert networks, and buys missile materials from China. In turn, Chinese components flow back into Iranian drones used by the Houthis. Iran has turned sanctions evasion into an art form and proved that defying the West is survivable. North Korea brings chaos and shock value. Between 2024 and 2025, Kim Jong-un launched new ICBMs, sent thousands of troops to Russia, and shipped millions of shells for Putin's war. Every missile test forces America to respond. tying down U.S. resources while CRINC's other members operate elsewhere. For China and Russia, Pyongyang's defiance is priceless proof that you can outlast Western pressure. CRINC's success lies in what it's quietly building: shared military data and tech exchange, alternative financial networks, coordinated propaganda ecosystems. China and Russia trade in yuan and rubles, bypassing the dollar. Iran fuels their energy supplies, and North Korea adds manpower and munitions. What started as survival cooperation is now a parallel global system, one that operates beyond Western control. Western leaders still treat CRINC as a temporary alliance, but the threat is already real. This axis of upheaval challenges Western dominance not through open war, but through a sustained, coordinated campaign of economic leverage, disinformation, and military disruption. The world may not be watching a new Cold War. It may be witnessing the birth of the Shadow Order. CRINC might sound terrifying, but what if two giants turned on each other? Watch What If China Attacked Russia to see how that conflict might unfold, or click on this next video instead.